on, a long list of things to do, overwhelmed from different places. How do you navigate that and still feel like you're on top of it all? This is the frequency effect. Did I get it right with Kim and
Yes, you
Veronica?
did. New name,
For
folks.
some reason, I always want to say frequency first. The frequency
You know
effect.
what? I would think I like the frequency first too, and I was like, no, we'll stick with frequency
Let's stick
effect.
with one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
and
it's funny because we're recording this at early February, and there's so many people I've heard from that they felt like January of this year, 2026, has been like there's so much going on. Like, and I noticed that sometimes that ebbs and flows with like the collective. And you know, and it also is like who you're surrounded with too, right? Sometimes Kim will say to me, "Oh my gosh, everyone in my world is saying this," but I'm not experiencing that in my world. But I've just noticed that because so that's an interesting topic that came up, considering that everyone's feeling like it's so much going on.
yeah. Well, they say, you know what? Edgar Casey actually predicted that January 2026 was going to be a year of cleaning stuff up
Mm.
to prepare us for to make space for the amazingness that February 2020. And this is Edgar Casey. This is like
Wow.
a long time ago, right? So
So
that's
could
kind
it
of
be that? Yeah.
interesting.
So could it be
I,
that the busyness is like it's clearing? So it's coming into our awareness as it clears
yeah,
out. That's
I'm aware that
potential.
when a lot of busy is going on for me, that when it's a lot of the thoughts, maybe past thoughts, and we're kind of getting off topic, but same topic. I'm aware that that's what's going on. So if I'm like thinking about the same thing that I thought about too many, it's like, okay, maybe it's unraveling itself, which is a good thing. So instead of going into the thinking and the thing, I go, okay, is it possible that this thing is unraveling and that's why it's in my face again? And so when I do that, it assists it in unhooking itself from my reality, if that makes sense. But it's really easy, I think, that when that same thought, that thing that's been on a loop and it's on a loop again, if I see it as I'm still dealing with this, the universe is kind of like, yeah, I guess so. You're the boss. But when I go, oh, what if it's actually this thing that's been on a loop that is unhinging itself? It's untethering itself from me, and I can just see it. It's almost like it's almost like a see you later, alligator.
Hmm.
And so which is totally different than think I'm going through that thing again. What
I
if I'm
like
not
that.
going through it again? I'm
Hmm.
just aware of it as it's unhooking, as it's unhinging, as it's unlooping itself. And so when I can identify it as that, that brings in a whole different frequency to the thing, which again is going to create a whole different effect, right? But if
Right.
I think I'm looping on it again, the universe goes, okay, girl. But if I'm like, okay, perhaps it's unhooking itself, the universe is like, okay, girl, right? I love it.
It's a small shift in perspective, but it can
It
change so
is.
much, like the whole trajectory of what you're living through. Yeah.
Exactly. So, what were we talking about
We're
today?
talking about when we've got too much going on,
Yeah, the to do list.
the to-do list, and energetically, how do we navigate that if
Yeah,
we desire to?
yeah. So the to do list, like you said, how do we navigate that without getting lost in it?
Hmm.
Right? Because when we are getting overwhelmed, we're lost in it.
Yeah.
That's how it. That's what it is for me. So when so it's about, so I have these words that just resonate with me. Who am I amidst the noise? The
Mm.
noise being the mind chatter, the stuff we were just talking about. Who am I? When I've got the to-do list, that is like, oh my God, navigating that, I go into overwhelm. So I just lost me in my to-do list. If I'm overwhelmed over anything, it's because for me, it means I've just lost me somehow, somewhere. And so that is a sign for me, or that is, what would you call that? It's not a sign. It's more of that. That is my cue or clue where I get to go, okay, I'm losing me here. And even if I just pause and come back to me, what does that look like for me? It's just coming back, maybe just going, okay, just relax. Okay, I'm in here somewhere amidst all that noise. I'm still here. Okay, cool. I'm safe. It's all going to be okay. No matter what, it's all going to be okay. So my first sign that I've lost me often is overwhelm. I've just gotten lost in my to-do lists, trying to figure it all out. And again, I just come back. Maybe it's just pausing. Maybe it's closing my eyes. Maybe it's none of that. Maybe it's just, oh, right, I'm doing that thing again. Just remembering, you know what? Whatever I get done, I'm going to get done. It's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. Whether I get that done or not, I'm going to be okay. Doesn't mean I won't beat myself up over it, but then I've lost myself again. Right? And so, yeah.
I'm going to be okay is such a powerful
state
of being, right? We underestimate how powerful that is, how it just brings us back in alignment to the truth of who we are and the core. For me, I remember early on in my corporate world, I was having success really quickly, and there was a lot coming at me. And there was a point in time, around the time that you and I met, which was a long time ago, many moons ago, that I was, there was so much on my plate. I was moving up into bigger positions with more responsibility, and I wanted to prove myself, and I wanted to get it all done, and it was about execute, and I was in the office by 7 a.m. like waking up at 5:30 to be there by 7 a.m. and then I'd be in the office till 6 or 7 p.m. Then I'd be working on weekends, and it was like my list just never ended. Like it didn't matter how much time I was throwing at it, and I was efficient, but I still, like, there would just always be so much more. And at the same time, I was learning about energetics, and I was learning about how to influence life in a different way than the traditional, like, get her done. So I started to think about, okay, well, what if I played in the energy of it just being done? What might that be like? And I started to play in that energy of actually feeling like, what would it be like if what would it feel like if it was just done? How would that feel in my body? And that's often how I access the energy, is by activating it in the experience in my actual physical body and being. And I played with it religiously. And after a short period of time, like, things just started to get done. Like, it's like there was another force that came in to help me get things done. And all of a sudden I'd be like, oh, my plate is lighter. I'm done. I've executed on everything. How did that even happen? It's almost like I didn't even know how it happened. And so when I find myself in overwhelm, I'll often come back and start to play in that energy of like, okay, what would it be like if it was just all getting done? I don't know the forces that come in to maneuver everything, but somehow it always seems to happen for me. When I can tap into that frequency, that energy of it getting done, it being easy, it being my plate feeling really light, I can access that energy. And I don't know, there's some forces that come in and lighten things up for me.
Well, you know what though? Like when as you're sharing that, for me, it's really clear. Doesn't mean I got it right, but for me, it's really clear in this moment how you're being the change you want to see in the world, in your world. And so you're being it. How do we be it? By activating it through imagination. So by activating it through the imagination of what might that be like, we're not saying what would it look like, because that can get the mind involved. So what might that be like to actually have it all done? So you're using your imagination to imagine what might that be like. And then it activates that frequency, that energy in your body, because we all know and we've all heard everything is within. Right? And so when you activate that by using your imagination of what might that be like, and then allow it to take on a life of its own, not by visualizing, but by simply getting the energy of, because that's what we're doing, getting the energy of what it might be like, without coming to the conclusion of what it would be like. It's what might it be like. You're activating that within you. And so now you are being it. You're being it by activating it within you. And so, of course, it makes sense. I love that you brought this in, because this is something it's a great reminder for all of us, including myself. So when you're activating it within you, you are being it. And now, because it's also being programmed into your subconscious, which is, where it kind of all happens, it's a program. So, of course, life matches that. Now you're a vibrational match for that frequency of, okay, what might it be? Right? What might it be for that to be done? And so, yeah, so you're so good at, doing and being that kind of play in the world. I love that. So I think this is, like, to me, this is such a great reminder. Yeah. So when they say everything is within you, okay, sometimes it's been like, hey, how do I activate it? Use your imagination by imagining, what might that be like? What might that be? Again, not look like, because that brings the mind in. What might that be like? And you're just letting yourself daydream and get into the vibe and the feel and the frequency of what that might be like. Because it could be even greater than what we think it might be like. That's why we let it take on a life of its own. Right? Because we might be thinking this, and the universe is like, we got this, so no conclusions here. Let's just, what might it be like? And let it take on a life of its own. So once that energy is activated within us, we're just using a question to activate that which is within us. So we're using the question as a tool, and you're playing with time, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the frequency effect, right? So we're generating the frequency from within, and then the frequency organizes all the cooperative components in our reality to rearrange everything for us. We don't know how or why or what's everything that's involved, but for me, it kind of goes back to our last episode. I try it on, right? Because conceptually, I wouldn't necessarily buy into this. I try it on, I play with it, I see that it works, so then I come back to it. But I have to remind myself to come back to it, because I'm wired to still think like I need to push through and execute and check it all off and get it all done.
Yeah, because all these things are expected of me, and it's my responsibility.
Exactly.
Right. And so yeah, it's and not being attached to the outcome. Yeah, you might play with it once, and maybe it works for you that once because you tried it on, and maybe it doesn't. It's a practice. It's a practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go.
Frequency first. Well, the other thing that's coming to me in the moment is like, and I don't know enough about this, but we've heard about how in human design there's like, in your design you're either a specific or a general manifester, right? And for me, that was really enlightening for me to realize that I'm a general. I don't know if I'm using the right language. I think
specific and non-specific.
Yeah. So it was really helpful for me to learn that I am a general. I'm not a specific manifester, because every time I would try to manifest specifically, it would be all mixed up for me. But because when I play with energy, it's like that general feeling. I'm not going into the specifics of these items getting done off my checklist and this is how it's getting done. Like there's no specifics there for me. It's very general of, this is how I would feel if it were to happen. And I would just go into the general feeling of that feeling. And so to your point, I'm not necessarily thinking about how or when or any of the specifics around it. I'm really playing in the energy of what would it feel like to have that relief, to have that sense of completion, to have that sense of ease. And I'm going into those energies instead of the specifics of the outcome that I would be looking for.
Yeah. So you're non-specific. I'm specific.
Yeah.
So the way that it works for me is kind of the opposite. So for me, which I wanted to be a non-specific and just play it. And so they're both the same and different. And so for a specific, that is where it's like, okay, so why is it that I would like to experience that? La, la, la. And why is it I would like to experience that? So again, it doesn't have to mean I want a shirt with 3 buttons down the front and 2 buttons down the back. It would be why. And so now, so you get into the frequency of it by, and what's my why? And what's my why? And what's my why? And so you're activating the frequency from a different angle, is all that is. And if you're not sure in your human design what is what and who's who, it doesn't matter. Just try both. Try both on and see what it is for you. And so, yeah, so for me, it is like, and why do I want to have a better relationship with this person? Oh my God, because it would feel so, and why would that feel so good? Do you know what I mean? And so it's like that. But yeah, that to-do list. Oh my God. Listen, let's go to that. Let's play there.
Let's play there.
Let's play there.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, it would be activating the frequency of the ease, of the relief, of the sense of completion, of the sense of accomplishment. So it would be like any or all of those. And every time I would feel the pressure building, which, the stress that I'm putting on myself to have something completed or to feel like I'm never going to get it all done, then I would go back into, okay, what would it feel like? What would it feel like in my body? What would it feel like to have those, experiences of relief, of accomplishment, of resolution? And the way that it works for me, which is going to be different for everyone, just like it's different for Kim, is like every time I feel that stress, I just remind myself to come back. I feel the stress, I come back. And when I come back, I'm generating the frequency. And the more I do that, then eventually, somehow, the cooperative components all realign and reorganize themselves. I don't know the timing. I don't know the timeline. So I just am continuing to play with it until I start to notice the shift in my outer reality from the frequency shift in my inner reality.
Cool. Because as you were talking about the timing, I was thinking, because sometimes there are things that, is on my to-do list and it does have to be accomplished today. Mm-hmm. Right. And so those are the things for me when I've got a to-do list and it has to be today, then that becomes the priority, so to speak. Mm-hmm. I would be kind of the opposite of a procrastinator, depending on what it is, though. You know what I mean? And so, like, if it comes to my closet needs to be cleaned, that's a priority. But if there's something else that has a timeline where, okay, if this doesn't get done, this is going to happen, that's a little different. That's a lot different. And so it's also about that for me as well. Like when the to-do list is like so big and there's a whole bunch of things that have to be completed today, I've had to learn and continue to remind myself that if it doesn't get done today, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. So I'm going to just say I'm kind of like what I would call the CEO from my mom's life too, right? Mm-hmm. And a whole bunch of other things. And so that is a priority for me. I've made that a priority, and that is a choice, right? And so, but there are things that in my own life, if I don't, so my credit card is about to expire. So if that's on my to-do list, is to, so if I don't get that done, meaning, get a hold of all the places that I have automatic payments with, that's going to create a lot of chaos in my life. So that is a priority for me. My closet's still at the back of the bus, right? So it is about looking at your to-do list and at the same time, how will I feel when my closet's done? Oh, that's going to feel really good. Right? So there are things where sometimes I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I really wanted to get this done today and I didn't. I didn't get it done. I didn't get the thing done. I still have another couple days for my credit card. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it's so when you don't get all the things accomplished when you were hoping to get it accomplished, that comes up with the now what. And for me, it's the permission thing. Can I give myself permission? These are the 10 things I'm hoping to accomplish today. And it will feel really awesome to have them accomplished. And guess what? I'm just going to do my best. I may not get all of those things accomplished today. Is that okay? Well, I'm hoping to get them accomplished. Doesn't mean I will, though. Is that okay? Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. And so that's when I go back to, you know what? No matter what, I'm going to be okay. If I get that thing done today, so the things that, yes, have a cutoff date today, those are going to be my priority. Those are going to be my priority. But when it comes to, okay, I have more time to do the credit card thing, for example. Yeah, it's a priority, but it doesn't have to be done today. Right? And so it's about how we look at our to-do lists, how we look at our to-do list and how we're going to feel knowing that, you know, I've got a wedding that I've got to have printed off and created, and, you know, I've got it all done. Everything's mapped out. I just got to print it. And so does that have to be done today? No, the wedding's February 12th. Today is February 2nd. Oh, second month, second day. Yay. We don't know when this recording is going to be available to the world, but this is the day we're doing it. And so, yeah, so I've, you know, so the wedding, I've got it all mapped out. Everything's done. I just got to print it. I'm hoping to get it done today, but if I don't, I still have tomorrow. And then there's other things that, yeah, 100%, I'll have them done by today. And does that, what do you want to say about all that front? So what I'm going to ask you, so when you have
Yeah,
stuff.
I love that you.
Yeah. So when you have stuff that, is that how you work with your to-do list too? There's certain things that, yeah, by the end of the day, you've got to have this done. So those are going to be priority. And the other stuff you hope to get done. And if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, probably. I probably don't think about it that clearly. But you know,
Well, see, that's me being specific and you non-specific. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's true. The other thing that, like I said, I like that you brought the priority piece out, because I think that's helpful if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're like, I don't even know where to start. Like, really,
right,
getting your priority in terms of timing, but also what's really important to you. The other thing that was coming to me as well is that sometimes when it feels like I'm functioning from frustration or annoyance, that I have too much to do and I need to get it all done, sometimes the shift that's helpful for me is to, what you were talking about earlier, is to move into the why, right? So if you're looking at, oh, I'm annoyed that I have to do this with my credit card, because it's like, ugh, it's just another thing that's added to my list. It's like, okay, well, can you move into the gratitude of the fact that we can have credit? Or if I have to get something done for, I don't know, the podcast, it's like, well, can I move into gratitude that we have a platform for which we can have these conversations, and we have the technology that can support us to reach more people. And so sometimes that's helpful to, again, that's another frequency shift, to move from frustration, aggravation, annoyance into, okay, let's move into the why. Like, why are we're doing it for a reason? It's somehow contributing to us, otherwise we wouldn't be doing it. So can we do that shift into the gratitude, the appreciation of, like, sometimes it's hard to find. Like, I've had chapters in my work life, not recently, but years ago, where I couldn't, like, I was just so frustrated with work, and I didn't feel the gratitude, but I felt the gratitude for the paycheck every 2 weeks. So sometimes that was my why. And in order to shift my frequency, I would just go into the gratitude of that paycheck, right? So sometimes you get creative with finding your why and that appreciation, but that also shifts the energy, which then can shift the cooperative components, which can shift your ultimate experience in your reality. It's the little shifts in the frequency that make the difference.
You know how I found the gratitude piece? Oh my God, how I would find the gratitude piece for things that, well, I have no choice. I have to do this thing. I would get the gratitude piece by asking, what does it provide me with? I think we learned that in Mary A. Hall's Abundance Alive training, where we actually met God knows how long ago. So that was huge for me. That was huge for me. Just those words. How do I get gratitude for having to pay my taxes. Okay, what does it provide me with? Now, listen, doesn't mean we like how the government's spending it or blah, 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 but I like having plowed roads. Do they plow it often enough? Probably not. So I could do that rabbit hole. But or I can just go, okay, I like having plowed roads in the winter. Like, we're probably knee deep in snow here right now in Nova Scotia. And so looking at what does it provide me with? That can shut my mind chatter up quite quickly and nicely, because otherwise it's like you can go down the rabbit hole of the yeah, but, and I've done that and got really good at it, got bored with it and chose something different, right? But there was something else so that gratitude piece, how do I access the gratitude of having to go to work? Well, what does it provide me with? It provides me with that paycheck. And what does that provide me with? Yeah. Well, it helps me to pay. I could go, yeah, but it's not enough. Right. And that mind chatter can show up. I'm not making fun of it. It's like that mind chatter can go there. It's a practice. All of this is a practice. We don't get to be wrong. We get to go, okay, I'm doing that thing again. Okay. And so what does the mind chatter provide me with? More mind chatter. Right. So it's like, so it is like that. And, when you spoke about the to-do list and sometimes you don't know where to start, that's where I wanted to go. Thank you very much. So for me, when Ken and I first got together and, I had been apart from my husband for, I don't know how many years once Ken and I found each other, and we were starting to go through a divorce, my ex-husband and I, and the plate was so big, Veronica, I didn't know where to start. So I didn't. The plate was so big, it was overwhelming, and I didn't know where to start, so I didn't. It's the best way for me to say that. And Ken actually said to me, don't look at the biggest thing on the plate because that can be overwhelming when you're already overwhelmed. He said, look at the smallest thing on your plate that you're actually willing to do today. Because when you've got that big plate and you're overwhelmed, you're looking at the big thing. And he was right. So I looked at what was one little thing that I was willing to do today. So I did it, and it took it off the plate, but it created this sense of accomplishment. There, I got something done. Got something off my plate, which creates momentum. That was where I started because I was looking at the big, ugly thing and I didn't know where to start. And so all the other little things were attracting, that big, ugly thing that I didn't know what to do with was attracting all kinds of little things. And then the plate got bigger and bigger. And next thing it was overflowing. And then I got overwhelmed and I didn't know where to start. So maybe it is looking at the one small thing that you're willing to do today on your to-do list. And that sense of accomplishment and just that one little thing creates momentum, creates accomplishment, creates confidence, and that plate gets smaller. And it felt so good that was an energy, that was the frequency effect of me doing that one thing and getting something off that plate instead of it growing again, because I didn't do anything today either. Right? It's when we don't do anything today because our plate is so big, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But that one little thing, what is it? What is that one little thing? It made all the difference for me. Who knew?
It gets the frequency going.
Exactly.
The frequency effect, frequency
that
first.
Momentum, exactly. What it provided me with, like I said, that space of, okay, I got something done today. I got something off my plate. There's the momentum. Ding, my phone just agreed with me. All right, look at the time.
It's a
We're
sign
good.
from the universe.
Boom.
Thank you so much, everyone. We are The Frequency Effect with Kim and Veronica, and we are so grateful that you're with us, listening, watching, all the things. If you think that this conversation would benefit anyone, we appreciate the shares, as that's how we get out there. Likes, comments, subscribes, all of that. And we have our 3-month Unstoppable, which is a 2-on-1 3-way where we work with you directly for 3 months. it's a coaching, it's an energy, it's an experience, it's becoming unstoppable, and it's specifically tailored to you. So if you're interested in that, all of the info is in the description wherever you're watching or listening. I hope you have a beautiful day.